I, male 31, own a coffee shop, which I also manage. I have a university degree but have no interest in pursuing a career in what I studied. I'm not living off my parents' money. I'm living off money from my great-great-grandfather. I bought the coffee shop because I liked working in one when I was in college, and I like providing a good place for people to work where they're not expected to put up with any crap from customers. I was dating a woman I met through friends. She works in banking and does very well for herself. She's beautiful and smart, probably smarter than me. She knows I have a degree and that I'm the manager of a coffee shop. She said it didn't bug her, but then it did. She said she needed someone with a future and not someone squandering his education as a barista. My family never discusses money with people. It gets awkward. We also don't splash it around, but none of us need to work or get educated, really. My little brother always joked about buying a villa when he got his trust fund and lying in bed while sturdy women rolled him around with kayak paddles so he didn't get bed sores. He got his teaching degree and is happy as an elementary school teacher. She broke up with me because she couldn't see a future where she was the breadwinner and I stayed home with the kids. I said I understood and let her go without much of an argument. Then, about 18 months later, I met a woman at work. She's a regular and she's perfect. She's a law student and she started late after serving in the military. We're getting married this summer. I invited my friends, obviously, and it got back to my ex that I was getting married. She texted me to congratulate me and asked if I was registered anywhere. I told her I appreciated her congratulations, but that if she wanted to gift us anything, she could donate to an organisation in our name since we didn't need anything. She said I should swallow my pride and just accept a gift from an old friend. I told her that anything she chose to give us would be welcome and we would be thankful. I guess she went to my friends and found the registry. She texted me again and said that my registry was ridiculous and that I was greedy asking for such expensive stuff. I told her that my mom had done the registry and that if she wanted, she could just put money towards one of the gifts. A week later, she came by the coffee shop and had a printout of some stuff. She asked to talk to me privately, so I took a break and sat down with her. She had printed out screenshots of my registry with most of the expensive gifts already taken. She asked me who was buying me all this stuff. I said it was just friends and family. Then she pulled out a bio of my grandmother, whom she'd met when we were visiting Florida. She asked if it was the same woman. I said yes, but please don't tell people about my family. She kind of lost it. She said that she thought she was wasting her time with me, waiting for me to quit my job and actually get a real one. I told her that I didn't want to pay someone else to manage my shop, so I would be miserable doing something I didn't love just to get money I didn't really need. Now she's angry that I cosplay as a poor slacker to float through life. She said that she would have been happy to let me live my life the way I was as long as she knew I could contribute as much as she was to the relationship. While we were together, I paid for everything. Nights out, dinners, gifts, and even our trip to Florida. I guess she thought I was maxing myself out to impress her. I never even thought of it, really. My credit cards are set for full automatic payments every month. She told our mutual friends about my family and they're conflicted. Some knew, but we were polite and didn't say anything. Some are angry because they feel guilty whenever we would go out and we would split the bill. I guess they too thought I was just flashing my barista tips to fit in with the group. Some also think I should have told her that I'm a trustafarian before letting her break up with me. Am I the idiot for tricking my ex-girlfriend into breaking up with me and moving on? Not the idiot. I can see that she wanted to be with someone who would put equality into the relationship. I think that's fair enough. But if she did think you were maxing yourself out on credit cards, why not say something? She's a gold digger who screwed up for herself, and any friends who start acting weird now they know the truth aren't your friends either. Agree. And her contacting you just reeks of her thinking she was the best thing you would ever get, and she wanted to buy you the most expensive thing on the list to feel good about herself and then see these expensive gifts. Your instincts knew she wasn't the right person for you, and that's why you never told her about your money. I'm speechless at the fact that she's an ex, yet she felt the need to print out the registry list and berate you about it. She not only sounds like a gold digger, but the fact that she dug to find out more about your financial situation way after you split up and are engaged is pretty crazy. To be honest, you dodged a bullet. Gold digger is mad that she missed her jackpot. A true digger for gold would have done better diligence while she was still dating the guy. She's just a clown. OP, I'd love to own my own coffee shop. If something makes you happy and you can afford to do it, there's nothing wrong with it as a career. Start a chain, overtake Starbucks. Let her see your logo all over the world. Show her you can be successful without her BS. Congratulations on your upcoming nuptials. I, 29 female, am getting married in 5 months and have struggled to find a wedding dress I like. I've been to lots of stores, looked online and tried everything. I told my co-worker Lily, 30 female, and she suggested I go to see her sister-in-law Ruby, 23, who custom-made her wedding dress. Ruby is very talented and helped design my dream dress and gave me constant updates to make sure it was what I wanted at every step of the designing and sewing process. She even allowed me to alter the design later and change some details of the dress. We discussed prices and agreed on Ruby's rate at the start of the process, and she informed me that any alterations would be included in her flat rate. I paid in installments and the last 50% at the end. I collected my dress last week, paid the rest of the bill, and thanked Ruby for all her help and expertise. I even left a glowing review and told her I would recommend her to my friends. Lily reached out to me on Ruby's behalf yesterday to ask about the dress, and I praised Ruby for her help. Then, Lily asked if I liked the dress so much and why I didn't tip her. Ruby felt too awkward to ask, and Lily said I took advantage of her services and should have tipped because of the extensive work Ruby had done for me, including the free alterations. She went on to say that custom wedding dresses are usually way more expensive, but as Lily had mentioned, we were friends to Ruby and Ruby had given me a discount and included my alterations for free. I was shocked to get a passive-aggressive message from Lily on Ruby's behalf, so I wrote back to say that this was highly unprofessional and that, as she's the only one working, she could have just adjusted her prices to include the tip, rather than expect the customer to pay after the service finished. I've never had anything custom made before, so I don't know if it is standard to tip, but I'm not sure if I'm in the wrong. Not the idiot, but both Lily and Ruby are. If Ruby gave you a discount, steep or otherwise, that's on her. You didn't force her hand. She shouldn't have expected you to make up the difference in an unspecified tip that you were mysteriously supposed to be aware of. It was nice of you to write a glowing review for her. You should ask her for a tip too. Geez, tipping culture is out of control. You agreed on a price and she delivered. You don't tip on bespoke dresses, you pay a premium for having a bespoke dress. If your changes affected the cost, it should have been negotiated when the design and details were altered because the scope of the work changed, so naturally the cost might change. I have never heard of tipping a professional. Service workers, yes, and that is customary. I don't tip my lawyer, mechanic, doctor, contractor, or anyone else who's a professional either. They tell me their fee and I pay that or I don't use them. The idea is really foreign to me. She hadn't priced it properly because it ended up being more work than she anticipated. But that would be on her, not you. This should be a learning opportunity for her to quote her services better. This happened to my, female 26, husband's sister 31. She got married last week. Please don't think of this as bragging. I've always been considered physically pretty. People have always told me that. It has its perks and its cons. I had a hard time because of this when I was at school because, let's say that I was a stereotypical cheerleader. My point with this is that other people often only paid attention to me because of my appearance or thought everything I did was against them. This was a big issue amongst girls, which might have something to do with this as well. So, on to the conflict. My husband and I got invited to the wedding at a very fancy location. It was truly a very beautiful wedding, so I decided to dress up a little bit. I had a baby 3 months ago. I wore a dress with cleavage. When she and her husband were busy catching up with friends, some family members came and complimented my outfit with the always so necessary comment about how good I look because I've lost most of my baby weight. You know how much people like to talk about that. Then the other incident was because we didn't bring our baby with us to the wedding. One of my friends was babysitting for us since she lives nearby. He only breastfeeds, so she had to drive him twice so I could feed him. The first time was when they were giving speeches, so I went to the car, breastfed him, and she left. Then, the second time, some people wanted to see the baby, so as we were outside because of the music, some of our family came to greet my baby. My other sister-in-law posted photos of the wedding. She posted one of me and her, which said, "With the prettiest doll," because she calls me Barbie sometimes. My sister-in-law thought that was very nasty. She posted on Instagram saying that no matter what, some people always want to shine brighter than others and steal the spotlight, even on special occasions. I saw that and I sent her a text like, "Hey, is everything okay?" She didn't answer that day, but the next, saying that I couldn't possibly be this tone deaf and that the post was about me. I was like, what? And she said that because people were posting and talking about how pretty I looked at her wedding, how good I look, how lucky my husband is, how pretty my baby is. You get the idea. I told her, sorry, but I don't see how that has anything to do with me. She said that I was doing this on purpose, and to back up her argument, she said that in the photo I posted, people were commenting on that kind of stuff. She insists that I wanted to outshine her by basically looking prettier and having people coo at my baby. So I think this might just be that female competition because I've seen it other times. It wouldn't be weird to me if she thought that my dressing up or losing weight was something I'd done to purposely harm her because it's happened to me before. But I don't want to be too harsh and I want to give the benefit of the doubt because maybe I was wrong. Not the idiot. I will never understand why women are so damn competitive and get upset with people for not being 100% attentive to the bride on her wedding day. Your baby never came into the wedding or reception. You went outside to deal with it. If you went outside and someone saw the baby, okay. If there was a lull in the reception, people were allowed to go outside. I've been to receptions where people went to smoke or check out the grounds, etc. It's not like everyone stayed in one place all day. I'm being mad because people saw a baby. This is so ridiculous. People socialize at weddings, catching up with friends and relatives. There are reunions. No one spends the entire night sitting and staring at the bride and groom. Your sister-in-law obviously has insecurities. OP, it sounds like it's easier to be angry at you than the people who put value on looks and weight. You didn't decide to be pretty, your weight is nobody's business. But it's easier to make you the villain than to be angry at everyone else. I'm sorry I'm so pretty, it's such a burden. Oh, sometimes I wish I looked like all the plain people like you. Your life must be so simple. Lady, you are the idiot. I mean, I just don't believe that people went out of their way to say how gorgeous you were at the wedding after the fact. You're just kind of into yourself. Don't forget how quickly I lost my baby weight too. I also feel like OP is omitting some background here to explain the upset. Especially as sister-in-law called her tone deaf. Every bride deserves to feel like the most beautiful, important woman on their wedding day, and whether it was meant to or not, the attire of choice took that from her. I'm 30 years old and fairly successful thus far. My parents are a huge part of my success. They kept me motivated through school, they gave me a great childhood, and they helped me graduate debt-free. My mom's contacts helped me land a well-paying job after university. I'm a Nepo kid. Without them, who knows where I'd be. They think this gives them carte blanche to interfere in my life. They constantly critique everything about my life. I cannot think of one aspect of my life they approve of. And I'm not a bad person or anything. It's not like they have a problem with me because I'm a drug addict or work as a sugar baby. They just think they know better about everything. I had them over to my place for my dad's birthday, and everything was wrong. My apartment was too small, the stove didn't have precise control of the heating elements, and I scorched the sauce. I did not, it was perfect. Just everything was wrong to them, and they kept saying they wanted better for me, and that after everything they did for me I should be doing better. Well, I'm doing well, and because I live the way I do, I've done especially well in the last 8 years. So I wrote them a big check and asked them to hold it up. I took a picture of them with the check. They asked what it was for. I said it was for everything they had wasted on me since they thought I had failed, so I'm refunding them. I told them I loved them and appreciated their help, but now that they were paid back, they could keep their opinions to themselves and out of my apartment. They got huffy and left. I heard from my brother that they were angry that I did that. I don't really care. I just want them to accept that I don't owe it to them to live my life how they want. Not the idiot. If your parents were supportive and loving, they would encourage you instead of criticizing you. It's great they helped you growing up, but that's actually what parents are supposed to do. There's nothing wrong with setting boundaries or expecting to be treated with respect and kindness as an adult. Keep your boundaries, live your best life, and if your parents want to be a part of it, they can learn not to be idiots around you. They want OP to be the personification of perfection because they consider OP an extension of them. They're not genuinely concerned about what's best for her because that would require them to view OP as autonomous. Many parents struggle with transitioning from a parent-child relationship to treating them like equal adults. Some parents never seem to get there. OP, your parents should want to spend their time and money and use contacts for you because they are parents and their job as parents is to give their child a good childhood and the best start they can provide. They did that, and good for them, but that's it. And now, for God's sake, cancel that check before they cash it. You don't owe them a thing. Going against the grain here, you are the idiot. It doesn't sound like at 30 years old you've ever tried to address this. As you say, they were good parents. Maybe one conversation to try to get them to see what they were doing might have been in order. Who knows, maybe they would have seen the error of their ways and worked to be better. Refusing to communicate, making a huge gesture and cutting them off seems sudden. They were undoubtedly in the wrong here, but one attempt at an adult conversation with them was warranted.